Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and happy Sunday. For today's recipe, we're going to share with you something I've been loving. And I get questions a lot on how did you lose so much weight going whole food plant-based. You know, you're on your third year of doing this. How have you made it sustainable? And secretly or not secretly, doing recipes like this is a lifesaver. I personally need to have something in my refrigerator at all times that if I want to have a treat or a snack or a sweet tooth craving that I have and can grab. And that for me makes it sustainable, it makes it enjoyable, and it keeps me on track. So I always have fruit cobbler in our refrigerator. Like, I've been making it, anytime I'm out of it, I just remake it. And I cut that recipe that I showed you guys a couple videos ago into 4 servings. So every 4 or 5 days I remake it. Now this recipe has also been in kind of the flux of, you know, I might do this or I might have the cobbler, but it's just something easy that I can grab. My husband loves this, so he actually takes this sometimes as a breakfast. It's just nice. You need to have things that taste good, that are kind of like a treat for you, but are still whole food plant-based. That's one of my biggest tips, and doing this helps. I got this idea kind of from 2 different recipes from Dylan, and he has the YouTube channel Well Your World, and he makes something called oat clusters that he bakes. This recipe is kind of similar, and also in the Prevent and Reverse Heart Disease cookbook, the Unsweetened family has a chocolate minty ball recipe at the end that's no bake that I really enjoyed, but I just kind of changed up a couple things, kind of took things I like from both recipes and made it into this. So the star ingredient for today's recipe is this shredded wheat, and I'm so excited to share this with you guys. This is a new find for me, as I'm almost knocking over the almond milk. It's just shredded wheat. The ingredients are 100% whole wheat. It's not flour, it's not, you know, it's minimally processed in that it's just whole wheat. There is 0 grams of sodium, there are 5 grams of fiber, 2 of these little, I'll show you how they come, but they come in these little like biscuits, they call them. 2 of these is 140 calories. There's only 1 gram of fat, 0 saturated. Just, if you have been craving cereal and miss, like, you had shredded wheat cereal, this has like been amazing. My husband was a big cereal person, and this has totally satisfied that, and I feel comfortable with it. Again, the only ingredient is 100% whole wheat, so this is such a great find. I found this at my co-op. I know Whole Foods carries this. You know, your local grocery store might, so just make sure you look for it. I'll show like a nice display of it right now, but it's just such a good find. So you need this for this recipe, so go out and look for it. So for this recipe, I have my overhead camera too, just to kind of show you guys a nice display of what it looks like as I'm looking at my laptop to kind of see what I'm filming on this. But you need 3 of these little cluster bundles, and all I do is with my hands is I just break them up. They're really soft, kind of, you know, pull them apart and just break them up in a bowl. And this is a really easy recipe. Again, my husband like loves this, so anything I can find that he likes and can grab because he, you know, is working and needs something quick and I can send him out the door with it, this is a great recipe. And then at nighttime, or, you know, for a pick-me-up during the day, it's just nice to have these for that sweet little treat that's still good. So once you've like broken all them up, you can see here they're kind of like all shredded. That's good. And then I add 2 cups of rolled oats to it. So I have some rolled oats. I don't blend them into a flour, I just leave them whole. That's the base of our bundles. So I'm just gonna go ahead and toss those with my hands. And this is like the main part of our bundle kind of cookies. Alright, so those are set. So now we're gonna make the liquid to add into our bundles. And what I like to do is I just do it in a high-speed blender, but you add 2 cups of unsweetened nut milk. I have almond milk here, 2 cups. And this part you can kind of customize, so these don't have to be chocolate. I have a big chocolate sweet tooth, I like things chocolate. So you can use cacao or cocoa powder. I'm using cocoa powder for this, unsweetened. but I have it right here. If you're gonna use cocoa powder, it's 1/4 cup. If it's cacao, go slowly with it because it's a lot stronger. So you can use either for this. You can leave it out. If you're not a chocolate person, don't put it in there. You can also like switch it up with adding in some fruit to this. You could add tons of different variations. You can add some dried fruit, whatever you like. I'm just gonna show you exactly how I do it, and then you can use your imagination to go wild with these bundles. But so that's 2 cups of unsweetened milk, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder, and then all we're gonna do is sweeten it. So sometimes I add 2 bananas, sometimes I add 1 banana. Depends if you like banana. If you don't like banana, leave it out. But I have 1 chopped up banana here. And then if I do only 1 banana, I add about a handful of dates. So these are just small dates. So I have around like 6 small dates here. 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 small dates here that are pitted. And these are just really, really small. If you have larger ones, you might need 3 or 4. Again, you do this to your preference. If you don't like to use dates, don't put them in. If you don't mind a little bit of dates, add them in. I'm gonna add this in to sweeten it. We're gonna blend it together and then we're gonna pour it on top. Now you can add flaxseed to this, chia seeds, hemp seeds. There's so many different variations. You could put cinnamon in this. You could put vanilla extract, you could put peppermint extract. If you want to make them more like the Prevent Reverse Heart Disease cookbook, they use peppermint extract. I'm just using the almond milk, the cacao powder or cocoa powder, either one, 1 banana, and around 7 small dates. Now if you have larger dates, use less. And that's it. So again, this is really, really simple. I'm probably blabbering way longer than I need to, but this is just such an easy recipe. So I'm gonna go blend this up till it's all smooth, all of my dates are incorporated, and then I'll show you guys me pouring it over. And we're going to freeze these, you know, at the beginning and then move them to the refrigerator. And I'll talk about why we do that, but they are so quick and easy that you're gonna wanna make them all the time. So let me go and blend this up and see you guys in a second. I have it all blended and it just kind of looks like chocolate milk, to be honest. It might be a little bit thicker due to that banana. So, I mean, I always usually put a banana in there, but it's not like super thick or anything like that, if you can see in the camera. But all I'm gonna do is I'm going to fold it into the shredded wheat and oats. You can just pour it in. You could totally eat this like cereal. But I'm just gonna kind of toss it and let the oats and the shredded wheat kind of soak up. If you notice that yours is like too soupy and not really foaming up, you can add more rolled oats or shredded wheat. This is nice because if yours doesn't turn out like mine, it will like thicken up on its own though. But if you feel like, oh no, I added too much, or you're unsure, you just want it to be kind of like holding together like that. Yeah, you can see it starting to thicken up. If you let it sit, it will start to thicken up. It just kind of depends. So for mine, I might add just a little bit more of the oats. So let me grab that. I'm gonna add a little bit at a time. And I just kind of like was experimenting and found this recipe out. Maybe a little bit more. So I just added maybe, I just have a little bit more in this box. Not even like maybe 1/4 cup extra in, but you can already see it's starting to thicken up. Perfect. Okay, all right, we are ready to make our bundles. This is really simple, and I'm just clearing some space for it. I like to use mine in some kind of pan, like a silicone pan or something, so it doesn't go everywhere. So let me grab that. actually I'm just gonna do it in these oat tins. And what I like about this is that you can do it like in these silicone muffin tins, and then we're gonna freeze them until it becomes hard, and then after they're hard we're gonna move them onto a plate into our refrigerator. You do want to keep these in the refrigerator before you eat, because they should be soft but they don't want to like fall apart. So these aren't a great thing to make if you're like gonna put them out for a party on a 90-degree weather. They will like melt into a mess, but for you to grab and go, it's totally fine. So I just take like just a little bit. You can even like fill up your little muffin tray. Now you can put this in a pan, like a silicone square pan, like I have kind of over there. Fill it out into the whole pan, freeze it, and then cut it into squares. You could do it like this. You can take an ice cream scooper and make the size balls you want. It's really up to you. So again, I just kind of like made this on the fly. I really liked the Prevent Reverse Heart Disease Cookbook's minty balls, but there's a couple things in there I just wanted to slightly change. So, and I like Dylan Well Your World. He makes some, I know, closer that you bake. But I like these because these are just like no bake. I like the shredded wheat. It gives it a nice texture. If you're somebody who likes texture, then I would try it with this. You don't have to, but it's just a nice way of, I don't know, switching it up. And this doesn't have a strong banana taste because there's one banana in the whole thing that my husband, who isn't a crazy lover of bananas, you know, doesn't really notice. I'll have all of the measurements and everything linked below, but this is like ridiculously easy. And I kind of switch it up. Sometimes I do it like this and make it into servings. Sometimes I do it into a long pan and cut it up into square pieces. It just, you know, depends on what I'm in the mood for. You could add, like I said, dried fruit. You can add vanilla or peppermint or almond extract. You could add nuts if you want. I am somebody who eats a little bit of nuts, but not a large amount of it, so I generally leave it out of this kind of stuff. You could put flax or chia seeds. I get that in my oatmeal every day, so generally I don't really add that to anything extra. I'm pretty regimented on my breakfast every day. I have the same exact breakfast, so I know I'm getting that in every day, so I'm not worried. But this made such a nice amount. And again, if your mixture is more liquidy, I just add some extra shredded wheat and oats. You know, if it's over much, you can add some more unsweetened nut milk. It's really simple and you're not gonna mess it up. This is pretty much a foolproof foolproof recipe. If you are not somebody who loves to cook or isn't a fan of it, you know, try this out because it is really simple and easy. And it kind of makes you, when I eat these, it kind of remind me of like chocolate, not Cocoa Puffs, but those like rice puff cereals, the chocolate ones. I don't know why, it just like brings me back to that childhood. I think it's just like a combination of the shredded wheats and oats with the chocolate. I don't know. Try it, let me know if you guys feel the same. But it filled up all but one. If you could see my document camera, all but one's missing. But I'm just gonna pop these into my freezer now for maybe an hour to 2 hours. You want them to be solid that you can pop them out, and you want them to be like rock hard. This is also great if you overeat, if you're like somebody who like overeats snacks or like is following kind of like the Chef AJ plan. You could keep these all frozen and then only take one out when you're ready to eat it and defrost it if you're like worried about having this much at your fingertips. We don't have that problem here. I'm not really an overeater anymore. I kind of figured that out, so I can have these in my refrigerator. I would put them in your refrigerator for a few hours and then enjoy them. They're much better when they're not rock hard. Trust me, if they are rock hard, let them sit out. Enjoy them while they're soft. So these are gonna go into the freezer for around 2 hours. I will pop them out onto a plate and put them back in my refrigerator. When they're soft enough, they'll give to touch, they're ready to eat. I have some of them made a different way, same exact recipe. Let me pull them out of the refrigerator just to show you guys. So I made these yesterday, and we've been like snacking on them, you know, today and yesterday. But just to show you that it's the same thing. They're just in like little ball shapes. I just kind of form them into little bundle patties or balls or whatever you want to call them, and froze them and then brought them in this. But I just want to show you this is kind of like the end product, but I'll show you the one. But they break pretty easy. Like it's holding up, it's not falling apart and crumbling, but they are delicious. Oh my gosh, you guys are gonna love this. This is like simple, easy, fast. Kind of reminds me of like a little bird's nest with all the shredded wheat. I don't know, we're gonna call them bundles since they're not exactly like Dylan's oat clusters, and they're not like the minty balls in the Prevent Rich Heart Disease. I'm gonna call these bundles, call them my own, because we kind of have played around with the recipe, but they're great. And that shredded wheat is such a good find. So I'm gonna try a piece, even though I know they're really good because I've been eating them pretty much all weekend. They're so good. You can have this with a glass of unsweetened nut milk. You can take them on the go, breakfast, snacks. I eat them mainly as a snack, maybe in between a meal. Like, I work from home, so sometimes between lunch and dinner, if I need something to pick me up like this and maybe like a little piece of fruit, it satisfies that. So I'm gonna kind of feel like I'm having a treat, even though it's still whole food, plant-based, refined, sugar-free, and it's like satisfying and makes me feel good till dinner. So this has been lately my favorite. Again, my biggest tip, if you're gonna stay on this lifestyle and you want to make it sustainable, is have things that you really like made. Like, meal prepping is great, making sure you have food on hand, making sure you always have like a grain in your refrigerator, you have all the things you like, so that when you're hungry you're not like, you know, sorry, my camera turned off, battery died. But just make sure you have your food, your pantry stacked with stuff that you can eat. This is a great way to, like, when I want a snack, I want something chocolate, I have it. I'm not reaching for anything that would not be good for my body, that would not be nourishing. You know, I'm making sure I get fiber still in these treats. That's been the biggest piece of the puzzle for me, and just making it enjoyable on all ways. So I hope you guys like this. I hope you guys make this recipe. It's like super easy, and just wanted to share it with you. But these are so yummy, great to have on hand. I'm sure your kids would love it, you'll love it, husbands will love it. Everyone will love it. I hope you guys like the document camera, so it kind of showed you a little bit more hands-on. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know in the comments below if you make this and if you do anything different to it. I love seeing how you guys change up the recipes and make it your own, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.